I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night.
Hey, it's good to see y'all again. An early happy 4th of July to you as we get ready to celebrate tomorrow. Today we just want to tell you a story. It's going back to Don Bosco, and this is actually before he was Don Bosco or Father Bosco, back when his mom just called him Little Giovanni. He was about 5 years old, and he was with his mom and his brothers Joseph and Anthony, and they were going over to see some family in the next village over. And it was an old farmhouse, and they were gathering in the evening. So they get there, and you've got 10 or 15 people in a room sitting around an old wooden table, telling stories and just enjoying it. The sun's going down and it's starting to get really, really dark. And you just picture this old farmhouse, the stucco walls, probably a dirt floor, and then the rafters overhead, and a little storage up in the attic. So they're in there dimly lit by a little light, and everybody's talking and visiting, and then that conversation goes quiet, just for that random moment, and they hear something moving up in the attic, and everybody stops. They're wondering what it is. And then, the conversation starts back up, and all of a sudden they hear something upstairs again, moving around, and everybody's still and quiet, and there's that pensive moment where everybody's worried, is it a ghost, or what is it up there? And so, Don Bosco's, or Giovanni's, the bold 5-year-old in the group goes, well, let's go see. And his grandmother and cousins and stuff are like, no, well, whatever it is, let it be up there. But the sound keeps continuing and everybody's worried. So little Giovanni's like, let's go see, it's up there, let's go. So he climbs up the ladder and he gets up there, and his cousin's carrying the lantern behind, and Don Bosco crawls up into the attic, and his cousin's got the lamp, and they see this white figure going across the attic. And the cousin drops the lantern and the light goes out, and he runs back down the stairs, and Giovanni's left up there in the pitch black. He can't see anything. And you can imagine a little 5-year-old, and he saw this figure going, and now he has no idea where it is. And so, somebody brings up another light and slowly eases up over the edge and looks, and the light casts, and you see this white figure still moving around and bumping into things. And Giovanni crawls over there, and he touches it and recognizes that it's a flour sack, and he pulls it off, and out comes this hen, just like that. And so this hen jumps up and is excited to be free, and little Giovanni comes down with the sack and the chicken, showing his family there was nothing to really be afraid of. It was just a chicken, and the whole family celebrated by bringing the chicken, and they had it for dinner that night. So just a little celebration. But the point of the story is that, oh wow, the chickens are excited. It must have been one of their family members. But, we have fears in our lives, especially fears of the unknown about, what's coming. And wow, these chickens are excited. But that fear shouldn't overtake us. Like, that fool that we hear about in the gospel today that God reveals himself to, sometimes we have to be foolish and, face those fears, what's holding us back, so that we can receive God's grace. Whatever's holding us back, whatever fear there is, especially the unknown, we got to move forward. Tomorrow, one way of looking at it is the day where our forefathers of the nation faced their fear, faced, going into the unknown, because they signed a declaration that they were forming a new nation, which none of them had done before, and didn't really know what was going to happen next, whether their lives were at stake or what was going to happen. But they dared to face that fear, to face that unknown, to sign the document and say, no, we are a free nation, and we're fighting for truth and for freedom. And so that's what we're called to in our faith today, in that story of Don Bosco, to move beyond our fears, move into that unknown, and see how God's grace abounds. And as President Roosevelt said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So thank you, and good night.